somebody's waiting. So sometimes I ask people to do things and they say no, and I say, okay, thanks. Here's what I say, thank you, I owe you. Somebody really does you wrong, thank you, I owe you. Somebody talks negative about you, thank you, I owe you. Because guess what that does? It activates the prey drive. See, I used to think that real passion came from emotion. What if I told you real passion comes from conflict sometimes?
Yeah.
Real deep passion comes when you think you have been done wrong. And you're like, I'm doing this. And if I'm doing it just to show you, because you didn't believe in me, that is a pre-drive activator. So I got to teach you how to use rejection to go, thank you, I owe you. I appreciate you. I needed that. I needed you to tell me no. Look at number 2, intrinsic motivation. Let's call those because goals. I do this because of this. Why is it so important for me to be a good dad to my kids? Because I didn't have a great dad. Now, by the way, I'm not mad at him. He didn't have a great dad. Everybody with me? I've forgiven him. But because of that, I made a decision that when I'm tired and I'm exhausted and my kids want to play at night, that because goal overrides my feelings. So when you were out there doing what you're doing, you're like, I'm doing this because I want to be in the top 1% of performers. I'm doing this because I want to be the best. I'm doing this because I believe in this product. I'm doing this because this is transformational. That is a because goal. That is number 2, intrinsic motivation. Now look at 3, connection. How many of you think the top people in the world are masters at connection?
Yeah.
They work hard to connect to people. Head up, eye contact. Walking into church a few weeks ago with my 2 kids, and my wife had just come in from California, so she was tired, and she was at home, and I'm taking the 2 kids in, and I'm telling my 2-year-old daughter to get your head up, smile, and meet and greet people. Here's what she does. And I'm saying, say good morning, people, and she's going, good morning, people, good morning, people. And my 4-year-old son, get your head up, make eye contact, and meet and greet people. Thank you, I owe you. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for taking this meeting with me. Thank you for giving me a chance when nobody else would give me a chance. You would be shocked what an attitude will do for this business in you. And an airplane up in the cockpit has what's called an attitude indicator. It tells you is the airplane going up, has it plateaued, or is it landing? Ascending, plateaued, landing. Energy is dynamic, static, and tropic. The minute you stop growing, you start dying. Everybody with me? And you got to despise incremental growth. So if you reach the ceiling in your business and you're like, look, I'm working the business. Why am I stuck? Quantum leaps come in 2 ways. 1, somebody brings you new information. Or number 2, somebody introduces you to a new network of people. Go back and look at the back of your business. If you go back and look at that timeline of your business, tell me when you were showing those big jumps, was it not because somebody brought you some new information and you took action on it, or somebody introduced you to somebody that introduced you to a whole new group of people? See, through my relationship with you 2, look at all these new people. Look at all these new people. Right? So the key to the many is to the one. You do a great job with each one. And that one will say, let me introduce you to all my friends. We don't need more money, we need more people. The people have the money. Look at number 4 and 5. They go together. They do studies after studies after studies of the people that win the most. And the people that win the most are not the smartest people in the world. They're the toughest people in the world. That is 4 and 5. Grit is a combination of passion and perseverance. The reason Duckworth wrote the book on grit, because her father told her she'd never be smart enough to do anything big in the world. Her father told her, you'll never be smart enough to do something big. And she said, I'm going to go to Stanford, and I'm going to show you that the smart people don't always win. It's actually the toughest people who win. And she said, thank you. I owe you. Number 4, grit and resilience. And look at number 5. And this is probably my number 1 skill, which is the ability to lock into something and see it all the way through to its conclusion. I stayed as a high school basketball coach for 13 years. I was already making a lot of money coaching and speaking. I was already writing books on the side. I could have left way earlier. But I made a promise at 22 years old to the guy who hired me, and I said, I will not leave until I bring you a championship. You believed in me, you gave me a job at 22 years old, and I will stay here, no matter how long it takes, till I fulfill my promise to you for believing in me. And I stayed for 13 years to win that one thing. 80-hour work weeks, sleeping in the office, no family, no friends, no marriage, no kids. I was married to one thing, winning. That is number 5. You lock in and you see it through to its natural conclusion. Which of those right there, tell the person beside you in 10 seconds, which of those do you want to work on the most when you leave here today? Tell them in 10 seconds.
To leave your marriage? No, I don't think so.
Okay, right now, I got the ability to lock in.
Yeah.
Connection skills is my thing.
You're afraid of that. You walk down the street.
Do what?
You walk down the street.
Well, it's because I'm like on a destination for people.
Eh?
Because I'm on a destination for people like that.
All right.
Really understand like how hard it is for me to keep.
Now I want you to think about this. Here's the good news. Let's go back to something I said earlier. I'm hungry. I'm humble. I'm teachable. What if I told you the wealthiest people I coach work as if they don't have any money? What if I told you the people that don't have any money work like they're wealthy? See, when I built the greatness factory in Nashville, I've been building and saving and saving and saving and saving. And I went out and raised investor money to build this $7 million building. And I think I'm going to get into this deal with no money. Like, this is a genius move. I had investors. I'm going to get into the deal. I had the idea. The investors invested in the idea. I'm going to get in with no money. This is great. This is incredible. I'm going to keep all my cash over here. I'm going to get this new building. And I'm speaking in California, crazy as it was. And I get off the stage, and I've got like 40 text messages. My accountant, my lawyer, my everybody. They're like, 911, 911. And I'm like, oh, what is going on? And I get off that stage, and I call, and I say, what's the problem? They say, Coach, man, the deal's falling through. I'm getting calls from the guy selling me the place. And he's like, if this deal doesn't happen by noon tomorrow, it's off. This is a dream I've had for 8 years. God gave me a vision in 2016 to build a greatness factory. And I'm like, what in the world? And it's like, he's calling me. He's putting pressure on me. If we don't do this deal in 12 hours. I'm in California. I live in Tennessee. I'm like, man, I can't get back. I'm can't get back to do this deal in 12 hours. He's like, you can figure it out or the deal's off. Then I talked to my accountant. She said, man, the bank has really changed the terms on you. She said, by tomorrow noon, you're going to have to put in $650,000. I went from no money in to now I got to do a deal in 12 hours. And I'm up on the side of the country. And oh yeah, by the way, I got to put in $650,000 of my own cash into it to do the deal. This is why you never become complacent. All those years of working, storing away, working, and working the muscle, right? I go to bed tired, right, Priscilla? And I wake up hungry. It all goes to zero at midnight. I'm broke. In my mind, I'm broke. I'm getting up every day. And so I go, okay, I can do this. I'm going to put my own money into this deal so we can make this dream happen. See, what was one of the first slides that I show you today? Complacency is a general unawareness that you have reached a satisfied state that always comes back to get you in the future. See, what if I become complacent? What if I lost my prey drive? What if my dream could not be fulfilled because I didn't work hard every day and store that money away? And here's the deal. Took all the money and he put it over into this one building. And then I go tell my wife, I'm like, we're broke. Because all of our cash is illiquid now. Our cash is now in this building. Now we got a new reason, Colton, to get up every day and go get it. It's like, I got to make this work. I got to go. Right? And here's what a lot of people do. They get to a point and they go, I'm good. I'm making some good money. I got a good car. Why even pursue something bigger? So here's what I figured out. You always go to zero at midnight because there will come something in the future that will need you. And it will most likely need some financial resources. And if you don't have those resources, some of your dreams will never get across the finish line. So as a raise of hands, how many of you said remarkable boldness is what you need? Raise your hand for number one. Look around the room. If you don't master that one, you'll never be great in this business. Yes or no? Your ability to talk about it, do videos on it, ask other people to take action on it. You'll never be great if you don't have that one. How many of you said number two? Intrinsic motivation. See, a lot of you think you got that intrinsic motivation. Do you have it strong enough that when things don't go your way, when you have 3 bad days, when you have 4 days and you want to quit, and you're like, this ain't working, this business ain't working, and your mind goes to the sewer cycle, which is a negative thought.
Negative town.
Go all the way to negative 10. How many of you said number 3? Connection skills. Here's the good news. You can learn those.
Yeah.
Number 4, grit and resilience. What about number 5? Yeah, look at that one. Do you know how many times that I wanted to quit as a high school basketball coach? Do you know how many times I went home when parents were mean to me? And I go, what am I doing raising other people's kids, working 80 hours a week, and I wanted to quit. And you know what I had? I had a broken heart. And I had a broken spirit. And no matter how many times I went home and had a broken heart and had a broken spirit, nothing would replace that night of being the best. Of standing there in front of 10,000 people and winning a championship. Nobody will ever take that away from me. And no matter how many times I wanted to quit, or how many times I wanted to give up, or how many times people broke my heart, or how many times people broke my spirit, I just kept going. I just kept going. This is what you got to tell yourself. So let's finish today with these things. These are the top 5 activators of prey drive. Fear is an activator of prey drive. Fear is your friend. Next time you're afraid of this, afraid we're going to lose everything. Afraid it's not going to work. Afraid I got to give something up. Go, thank you, I owe you. I needed that fear. Number 2, competition. How many of you think you need a nemesis? Just watch The Last Dance. If you don't think Michael Jordan made up things, he just would make things up. That dude didn't look at me. That dude didn't say I played a good game. Like George, like after one game, a person told him he played a good game. And that infuriated him.
Yeah.
Oh, you think I'm... Right? Tim Grover's a good friend of mine. He was Michael Jordan's coach, and we talked about every weekend. He was speaking somewhere once, and I text messaged him, and I said, man, looks like you did a good job up there. He was furious. He said, oh, you think I did a good job? I do that. Great job. I'm like, okay, brother, I'm just joking with you. Here's the deal, though. To people like that, saying good to them is offensive.
Yep.
I'm not good. I'm the best. Everybody with me?
Alright.
See, you need competition. And if you don't, make one up. Compete with somebody. Activate that competitive drive in you, for God's sakes. Number 3, exposure. This is this. I see it. I see a bigger future. I see a better place. When I come to California, you know what I think? Expansion. Every time I'm in California, it makes me want to expand. I'm like, this is expansive out here, man. You need to be thinking expansive thoughts. You need to be a person of expansion, not a person. You're not just a person of interest. You are now a person of expansion. You are doing, and you don't have a dream so big that other people can fit in there. You will do things so big that other people can get in there and they can get wealthy. Because your dream is so big that they can step right in there. Exposure. Look at number 4, environment. You got to get in the right environment. Coaching is an environment. You know, somebody said to me yesterday, one thing I don't talk about enough is there's a coach and there's a player. The player has a job to do and the coach has a job to do. Yes or no?
Yes.
Some of you got to get back to being a great player. And you got to yield to great coaches. Just like Jordan did to Phil Jackson. Greatest player in the world said, don't make me play without my coach. Why? He understood the symbiotic relationship between the coach and the player. Some of you got to get coachable. And we get on the calls and I say, this is what you got to do. You got to train every day in the online academy. And you got to show up like a pro every day. And you go, yeah, that sounds good. No, it don't sound good. That's what you need to be doing if you want to be in the top 1%. Either you do or you don't. Yes or no? If I could train every day in my online academy, you can train every day in the online academy. If I can get coaching, you can get coaching. With me? The player has got to play a role. The environment. And number 5 is embarrassment. How many of you look at your results that you got and you're a little bit embarrassed by those results? In relationship to what you're capable of doing. We have daily goals in my company. And that daily goal is 25,000 a day minimum. 41,000 a day is my real goal. It's 41,667.67 per day. And when we don't hit those numbers, I'm embarrassed. And you know why I'm embarrassed? Because I've been doing this for 33 years. And the other day I told my chief revenue officer, I'm like, look, man, I've had 30 years of doing this. Hitting these numbers ought to be mandatory, not an option. This is embarrassing when we don't hit our numbers. Why? It's not like we just started. We should be in the upper echelon, man. The standards have got to be higher. These are the top 5 activators of pre-drive. Now I close with this. I've spoken at 2 funerals in my life where I did not know the person personally. And they called me and said, can you speak at this funeral because they don't have someone to read the eulogy? And I said, I'd be happy to, but I need some information. I said, will you give me phone numbers and names of a family member, a friend, and a coworker? They gave me those numbers. I called those people and I said, I'm going to be giving the eulogy at the funeral. They lived 84 years on planet Earth. I'm going to be giving the eulogy at this funeral, and I need something to say to eulogize them properly. And I said, I got some questions. I said, what kind of dreams did they have in their life? And they said, Coach, they didn't have any big dreams. I said, how many people did they help in their life? I said, well, they didn't really help a lot of people. I said, well, what was a project that they worked on that they were proud of that I could talk about at the funeral? And they said, well, they didn't really have any projects. And here's what they said, they were just a good person. Now, do you know what it's like to give the eulogy at a funeral of a person that lived 84 years on planet Earth and you don't have anything to say? And I left that night and I go, that's not going to be me. That left a huge impression. We're going to help thousands of people. We're going to build greatness factories. We're going to help so many people that they'll have to pick the top 3 things that we did in our life to talk about at the funeral. And there won't be a few people there. There'll be thousands of people there. That's what we're going to do. Pray Drive is about potential. It's not about money. It's about pursuing the greatest version of you. And pursuing it with an intensity and a persistence. And that is why we all need a good coach in our life. Is to have conversations with us that we don't want to have. Make us do some things we don't want to do. But help us become something we did not think we could become. Now, I like to invite people to something always. And Kelly Eisler's right over here on my team. Coach Kelly, some of y'all have been coached by her. She's been with me for 4 years. She came in from a direct selling company. And used to be a teacher. Now she's a program specialist with us. If you want to talk to us about anything, leveling up, going to a higher frequency, playing at your potential, I've got her email up there, which is kelly@coachbird.com, or just scan that code right there, and it'll take you to a call with our team. If you're serious about leveling up and playing at a much higher level, some of you are going to be coming and spending time with me in Tennessee, a couple of days with me in Tennessee, go immersive. And I want to go deep and coach you as hard as I can for 2 days, and that's what I tell people. I'll give you everything I got. When we're finished, we'll be so exhausted we won't be able to see straight. So book a call. Let's go to the next level. Everybody needs a coach in life.
over the next 2 days, and what I was taught is to circle one thing right now that you are going to take action on. So after every speaker, circle one thing that stood out to you, the biggest thing that you're gonna go home and take action on. So Colton and I are gonna ask two people, someone from over here, someone from over there, your biggest takeaway.
All right.
Come on, Parade Drive.
What was your biggest
Anybody?
takeaway so far from this event?
Hey, what's up, Colton? So the way that I'm going to talk to my kids going forward, I'm going to say things like to my daughter because she's younger. So I'm going to say things like energy and motion. Energy and motion going to kind of make her say that a lot. And then my son's a little bit older, so I'm going to say let's do something big today. You know, I'm going to bring that to my family. And yeah, and then the fact that amateurs are never going to make it. So that's the big one for me too.
I love that.
So I'm new here, and the one thing that I'm going to do is if I don't feel motivated, move. And call me.
Can you put up the perfect? This is the one we just talked about. Awesome. So one of the things that we have if you become a Race to Freedom member, we got a monthly call with Coach Michael Burt every single month until June. So if you guys want to get access to those monthly calls, say aye if you're a Race to Freedom member real quick.
Aye.
Awesome. So we have a 7-day free trial. If you guys want to join that, all you got to do is just get in the QR code and then sign up, and you guys can actually get more access to, and this is also how you'll also get access to the replay by being a member. So if you guys want a replay, I see a lot of you guys like trying to record every single thing. We got to professionally record it. It will be up very, very soon. If you guys are a member, you guys get the replay access, and also we have extra trainings with Coach Michael Burt on a monthly basis until June. And then can you go to the other slide? That same little host section. Cool. So also too, real quick, one of the things that we kind of did for this event, we wanted to kind of give you the whole entire picture of the event, right? So most people in here, right, they're at point A, right? They're stuck at 3 to 7K a month, either in their job or in their adjunct business, right? They have no plan or strategy, no proven marketing system, not sure how to close effectively, not sure how to build a team and automate their business. And what this event is meant to do is get you to point B, right? Make 10K to 50K a month. And just curious, if you've made 10K a month or more in this business, can you please stand up? Can you give a big round of applause for those people real quick? Awesome. So I just want to show you guys it's possible, right? So we have people who have already done there. Those people have a clear and proven strategy, a proven marketing system. They know how to close effectively. They know how to build a team and automate a business. And how are we going to get you from point A to point B? So we just went over mindset, right? We went over belief, which was my training and Coach Michael Burt. Now we're going to get into the offer part of this event, right? We're going to talk about why an adjunct's a high ticket offer, the financing options, why it's high converting. We're going to have the next speaker is going to be talking about that. Then after we're done with the offer part and talking about an adjunct, we're going to go into marketing, right? We're going to teach you guys how to get new people that have money to book a phone call with you. Then we're going to get into sales, which is, basically when you're on a phone, how to convert people effectively. And then last, what we're going to get into, more tomorrow is team management, how to recruit, train, and manage a team. So I just want to kind of give you guys an overview of how the event's got to be laid out and where we're going to be going. Today we're going to be hitting on mindset and offer and a little bit of marketing. We're going to go with the rest of the marketing tomorrow. We're going to go into sales and also to team management. So our next speaker, her name is Jilly Torres. She is an indigenous mixed woman from a small town in Central California, turned 7-figure mentor and entrepreneur. She has a global team and travels all over the world speaking on stages, teaching what she calls hydrated entrepreneurship. She is known for Wakewater Co. global community and their strong culture disrupting the industry and restoring ancestral ways into business. Can you guys please stand on your feet and give a big round of applause for Jilly Torres?
Ready? You're just gonna make a move. Let's see it. Let's see it. Let's see it. Let's see it. Let's bring a little bit more energy, you know? Oh my goodness. I like it. Y'all know how I do. Raise your hand if you've heard me speak before. I'm excited. Okay, so take a breath with me. Okay. Breathe all the air out of your mouth. Take a big deep breath in the nose. And let it out your mouth. Okay. So, I was asked to speak on water. Duh. And I was like, you know what? Something else is coming through right now. There's like something I'm weaving into this water thing. And I feel like Coach actually just teed me up perfectly. So what you guys are about to receive is years and years of study about water. I was one of those who was like, what did this water just do to me? Raise your hand if you were like that. You were like, what's just happening in my body? I'm healthy. I haven't gone sick this winter. Yeah, I've gone sick one time in the last 9 years. Chris,
Wow.
can you vouch for me? Yes. If you're around me, pay attention. So I do have a lot of history with water science studies. I have my certification through the Hydrogen Institute. I went to the Missouri Moto School in Tokyo. So this is really what I call inheritance that I want to bring to you guys today about water in general. I'm curious, who's not drinking the water yet? Raise your hand. Okay. You're going to drink that Kool-Aid at the end of this, okay? I can make jokes. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I need a little bit of interaction. This is perfect because I got a microphone instead of a headphone. Okay, so what we're gonna do is you're gonna stand up when you hear part of my story that happened to you. And it's gonna get a little emotional, okay? Are you guys okay with that? Are you guys okay with some waters flowing in your body? Okay. Stand up if you grew up on land, like a ranch or a farm. Anybody? Woo, yay, my farm people, let's go. Hey, ranch kids, if you go, stay standing. Ranch kids, if you know ranch kids, we are wild. Okay, stand up if you are from a small town. Okay, my small town people out here, let's go. Stand up if you moved out young. I moved out at 16. Oh my gosh, that just gave me chills. Oh, now I'm crying. Stand up if you've been through sexual trauma. Stand up if you grew up without a father. Stand up if you dropped out of college. Hey. From the tears to the laughs, I love it. Stand up if you did not believe in yourself. Stand up if you've ever been mistreated by the medical system. I fainted and I went to the ER when I was 22 years old. And they did things to me and they didn't ask for consent. Stand up if you have medical debt. I had over $40,000 in medical debt. Keep standing. Stand up if you've ever lived out of your car. Keep standing. Stand up if you've ever had healing from this water.
I want you to look around the room. My story is just a small representation of so many of you. We are not the only ones that go through our journey alone. And what I want you to do is I want you to turn to the person, give them a hug, and say thank you for being here. I needed a laugh. I'm good at the connection thing. Clap your hands if you can hear me. Clap twice. Clap 3 times. There we go. I went through all of these things that I just shared with you. We're gonna I love the connection. I love the connection. The physical stuff, I feel like COVID really made us a little weird. I'm like up here, like so out there. If you guys even know me, like I got this drop that 2025 was gonna be the year that I come alive. Yes! And I was like, oh my gosh, me more alive than I already am. My hair's gonna be like up to here. Next time you see me, you could just call me Water Harris. Water Harris. Whatever that means.
I got it.
So obviously I went through a big transformation with this water. And I started my business and I went through all the things. I really dealt with a lot of trauma. I had sexual trauma. I moved out young. My story, I used to call it my sob story. I started realizing that I was really chosen to represent this water and to represent what we were actually capable of with this water. So I'm gonna go back for a second. Chris O'Brien, please stand up. Please stand up. Colton, please stand up. Give these men a round of applause. These are your men. Thank you. And, you know, in my journey, I definitely quit. You know, yeah, I was the one that was the upstream that left and kind of left Giordano out to dry, and then he connected with Colton. If you don't know this, my upstream quit. So my, I call it an upstream instead of an upline. You get it? Water codes, you get it? He was my ex-boyfriend, and it was his whole thing. So I was orphaned, and I still connected with Colton as much as I could. I still had people on my team that needed me, but it really was these 3 individuals in the beginning that really allowed me to have that secure foundation. And it really helped me because I'm a woman. I mean, sometimes these guys, when they get up here, I'm like, you gotta go, you gotta push, motivation, and I'm like, oh, well, okay, I guess I just function a little bit differently. And that's how I always was. So this is me being a nerd. I went to Tokyo. You can actually take a picture of that. That's a picture of our water on a microscope. The coolest thing ever. $80,000 microscope. Like, I started learning about water and how what we say. Anybody know about Masaru Emoto's work? Raise your hand. Yes. Yeah. It basically, the way that you feel is impacted, impacting the waters in your body. And we started growing Wake Water Co. Winner Circle. Shout out everybody, Wake Water Co. Winner Circle. Now, I want to share this psychological fact before I get into all these water facts, and I'm going to go pretty fast because I don't have too much time to go into all this water information, so take pictures of it. There's a psychological fact that 78% of most people fear rejection because of abandonment in your childhood, which leads to attaching your value to how people react to you. I made this before I heard Reagan speak yesterday. I have been talking about inner child healing for years. Because I couldn't be up here without facing the fact that I was measuring my worth based off of other people's reaction to me. So for the majority, rejection actually triggers the same part of the brain as physical pain. And studies show on rats that this can be inherited. Your fear of rejection could be inherited. But this water changed your life. But you're scared to share it. And maybe you just don't really know what you have, and that's what I'm bringing to you today. And that's like fancy science if you really want to know the part of the brain that is a part of. So, okay, now it's not working. There we go. Your value is immeasurable. I remember one time I stood on this stage and I had you guys repeat, I am worthy.
I'm worthy.
I am worthy.
I am worthy.
When you know your worth, the rejection doesn't cause you to measure yourself. When you really know who you are, you stop measuring yourself based off of how other people react to you. The next time you get a rejection from the water and somebody doesn't believe you and somebody calls you a scammer, don't you dare measure your worth. The next time somebody sits in front of you and calls you out for being greedy online, just another influencer trying to make money, blah, 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 I've got it all, I've got called a cult leader, all the things. Remember, you are not to measure your worth. Your worth is immeasurable. I was like, the water was like, you better prepare them to like stand for this water because what I'm about to share with you guys, the science is amazing. All right, we were talking in the car, and this is what your tears look like on a microscope. Look at the difference. Onion tears, laughing tears, and tears of grief. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Most people think that conviction is confidence, but it's not. It's the state of knowing the truth. I need you guys to know the truth about this water. Take a picture. Structured water. This is another picture that somebody in our community took of the water frozen. You've probably gotten the whole concept. You're electrocuting the water. The structure of the water is ruined, going through a machine. Well, guess what? In science, chemistry actually proves that electrolysis is doing the same thing as the Earth is doing. It's called the dissociation of water molecules. That's a natural process. It's like the lightning. It's actually naturally what water does. So the thing with structured water is just be careful of making that claim because in the structured water industry, everybody's like, my water's structured. My water's structured. Put it through a little vortex thingy, my water's structured. And I'm like, okay, all water is structured. But you know when you freeze it, okay? Competition. There is none. I'm done. Let's jump into hydrogen science. So I do want to share there is a difference in science between a subjective lens and an objective lens. And like testimonials are amazing. I have an amazing testimonial. When I fainted and went to the ER, they found cysts that were cancerous in my ovaries. I drank this water for 3 weeks. They went away. Yeah. That is subjective. But we're going to get into objective, which are studies that are verifiable and matter of fact. Take a picture of this. This is what you can share about hydrogen. You can't sit here and say, Kangen water heals this, or Kangen water cures this. But what you can say is that therapeutic levels of hydrogen do this. Yep. And these are certified through the Hydrogen Institute. The next thing, this is big for the hydrogen water bottles. Everybody's like, oh yeah, I got a hydrogen water bottle. It's cool, I go on the plane with it. It's so much easier than a coffee machine. Here's the thing, the bubbles, I know we all love our bubbles, that's great, but inside of the water, bubbles indicate that hydrogen is being produced, but it's all about the percentage of hydrogen that is dissolving into the water. rather than how much is being produced, because a lot of it goes back into the atmosphere. So this is called the dissolution ratio. The dissolution ratio is actually how much hydrogen is actually getting dissolved into the water, and this is why our water has therapeutic levels. And that's why there's a lot of marketing with these hydrogen bottles going around, because they're claiming, we make so much hydrogen, we make more hydrogen than everybody. And I'm like, yeah, but how much is actually getting dissolved? Bro. Therapeutic levels of hydrogen. Okay, so clinical studies, 0.5 milligrams a day is the therapeutic level. Okay, that's important for you to know overall, because there are some machines out here that are claiming that they produce hydrogen, but they're not. Hydrogen water bottles. Just take a picture of this. I've gotten so many people on TikTok or whatever it is. A lot of these hydrogen water bottles have membranes, protein exchange membranes inside of them. Has anybody gotten people online telling them they stink? Yeah, right? They stink because it's a membrane that's creating it. And I won't go too much into that.